Okay, I guess we are online. Welcome to our hangout here today. My name is Thomas, and I'm gonna be the host today. It's not gonna be me doing all the talking today because I got Maurus with me here from Germany. How are you doing today, Maurus?
Hello, everybody. I'm feeling well, alive, and kicking, and let's kick some ass today with John.
Yeah, and we also have John with us here from Boston. And how are you doing today, John?
I'm also well, thank you for asking. Boston is beautiful, a little overcast, great for a nice walk, which I already did today. It was very nice,
Yeah,
beautiful.
great, and actually, this hangout is going to be a lot about you, John, because we are kind of doing a series of hangouts here where we're kind of sharing our story with you guys out there, and so you can get to know us better, to find out what kind of what are we. Why are we here, and what are we running around doing, and what has kind of happened in our life, and hopefully you guys watching this, you can be inspired by some of these stories. And like I said, today we're gonna hear a little of John's story. He's got some interesting stuff been going on in his life, and he can probably talk for hours and hours, But we're gonna try to keep it around half an hour. Depends on what kind of stuff we get into talking about. So I think, John, I'll just turn it over to you, and you can share some stuff with us about what's been going on in your life, or what kind of interesting stories from your life you want to share with us today.
Okay, Thomas, thanks. It's always good to be with you guys. I mean, you and Maros are, like my partners in crime here online, which is great. It's I learned so much from you. You guys are ambitious, and we're all trying to do the same thing here online. It's technology is pretty amazing. I'm kind of behind the curve a little bit because I'm one of these people that's a little bit. I'm not very comfortable with technology. I enjoy it, but it seems like it takes me forever just to turn on a device or a laptop or whatever. I mean, and I'm usually pushing the wrong buttons anyway. But that's okay. I mean, if all of a sudden I disappear, it's only because I probably pushed the wrong button. But you guys will save me. That's kind of the good thing. It's these hangouts are really amazing because anybody that's watching this, it's one of the very first things I think I kind of like want to say to everybody out there that's watching this, is that technology has really come a long way. That it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. If you've got yourself a good mentor or a good small group of people who really care about helping you succeed, because we're all online here, trying to figure out a way, to develop an extra income. I mean, that's why I'm here. But you'll run into small groups of people like myself and Maros and Thomas, and there are countless others, people that are having these hangouts, and they teach everything from mindset to which buttons to push to do things, and the training is as complete as you want it to be, and it can be as confusing as it can be extremely confusing. I mean, especially if you don't have anybody that you can kind of partner up with and kind of listen to. So one of the things that I'm really glad with, especially with working with Thomas and Maros and some other really sharp younger people, that they've all got my back. They want to see me succeed. I want to see them succeed, and we're all kind of essentially kind of on the same cruise ship, heading for a tropical destination, as it were. But when it comes to my own, life, I'm 60 years old. I was married nearly 34 years. 2 children. I have 2 grandchildren, actually. One is, actually biological grandchild, and one is more like an adopted grandchild. But it's just that's a story for another time. I'm pretty much, ever since I was a kid, I've been chasing the American dream. It's I was one of these kids that from the days that I was in school, I was a good student, but not the best. You know what I mean? I never really pushed myself hard enough to do things. I just kind of went with the flow. What everybody else was doing, I was kind of doing the same kinds of things. But I kind of learned kind of early in life that there were some things that I liked to do and some that I didn't. And let's just going back to the days when I was in high school. When I was in high school, I joined the football team. When I was, and now you got to picture this. Today, I'm only 5'7" tall, so I'm a little fella. You know what I mean? Back when I was in high school, I was about 5'4" maybe, or something like that. I weighed about 130 pounds, and here I wanted to become a football player. Okay, so because friends of mine were playing, and I wanted to be rough and tough like these guys. But I learned very, very quickly that football was not my game. First of all, I mean. You know, I'm running up against these guys that are like twice my size. They weigh twice as much as I did, and they enjoyed really jumping on this little guy. So I kind of learned really quick that football really wasn't going to be for me. So, but so I figured I'd step into something else. So I tried boxing for a while. I ended up in high school. We had a boxing club, so I mean, I joined that. I kind of wanted to learn to handle myself and that kind of stuff, and. So I tried that for a while, and you know, I enjoyed the workouts. I enjoyed, you know, lifting weights and doing all these kinds of things. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the fact that I was kind of like I was kind of working on myself. That's really what I really wanted to do. I mean, I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to hold my own in a ring or something, but it didn't take long before I jumped in a ring for the first time, and I got the crap beat out of me like real fast. And I said, interesting. I like the workout. I still like to hit the heavy bag and the speed bag and that kind of stuff, jump rope. But boy, did I find out, man, this is not for me either. You know, having my head handed to me each time, and you know, having ringing in my ears for like 2 weeks, that's not for me either. So I finally settled on track, and I know this may be, especially for one of our panelists here, Maros. Maros is a marathoner, and so I think he can kind of relate. One of the things with me. I enjoyed running. I don't know why, but I really did. And I wasn't good. I mean, I'll tell you flat out. I mean, but I just enjoyed running. I was small, I was slender, and I didn't really care how fast I ran. I just liked the idea of running, and I ended up joining the track team in my high school. And for all 4 years in high school, I ran 3 seasons. So I ran cross country, indoor and outdoor. And I learned something about myself back then, is that, I mean, I enjoyed being part of the team, but because I wasn't gifted in any way, I mean, I tried out for different things, especially like in my freshman year. I realized that I wasn't a sprinter because the fast kids could blow me away. I tried the longer distances, quarter mile, half mile, and these, once again, I mean, I was better, but I wasn't anywhere near competitive. But it wasn't until I started getting into the longer distances when I started running the mile and the 2 mile, and the United States. Those are, I mean, in Europe and other countries, they might be measured differently. Might be talking maybe something in meters, but over here in the United States, we're talking like mile and 2 mile, and that was essentially the short distances, you know, for high school runners. I enjoyed that only because it seemed that the longer the distance I had to run, the better I was. And I'm telling you all of this about the sports and all this other stuff is because there's really a point to it, which you'll maybe understand near the end of my talk here, which won't be much longer. I mean, I can tend to get long-winded, but I'll try to keep it short. There's something about a marathon. I've never run a marathon, but I know I can last the distance, even at my age. I'm 60 years old and I'm pretty overweight. But the reason I'm even mentioning this is because you see, there are, you know, I live in the Boston area. Okay, I live in Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States, and we have a world-class marathon here, the Boston Marathon. It's been running for over 100 years, and some of the best athletes in the world come here to compete. But what I mean, and there are anywhere from 10,000 to maybe 35,000 people who register to run in this race. Now, what you're going to understand is people say run the marathon. Let me flat tell you something. There's only about 500 people out of the 35,000 who run the marathon. Everybody else jogs, walks, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? Very, very few. The real competitors, that's why they even set up the race where all the elite runners are right up front, and they let them go out usually 15 minutes or so before the rest of the pack goes, because they want to give these elite athletes an opportunity to really show their stuff, because a lot of them are competing for fame. A lot of them are competing for, maybe a world record or something, you know what I mean? And it's no longer really an AAU type of sponsored athletic, program anymore, where it used to be all essentially, you'd get a medal. You win Boston, it used to get a medal, you'd get a crown wreath, you'd get one of these laurel wreaths put on your head, and you'd get a bowl of beef stew is what you would get at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. That used to be the prize. But now the top runners are actually being paid cash prizes, and I believe it's like $100,000 for the winner, and that's a pretty significant prize. But the biggest thing is that it really draws, some of the best runners in the world here to show their stuff. But the point I even bring all this up is that even at the age of 60, I know I can complete the Boston Marathon. Now, I didn't say I was going to run the damn thing. I said I can complete it. Okay? I go out on a daily walk every day, and I have for quite some time now. Even at my age, it's my physical activity for the day. And I know it will probably take me 6.5 hours to cover the distance of the marathon. Now, when I finally cross the finish line, is there going to be any yellow tape for me to break? Is there going to be any crowds cheering me on? No, there isn't. It's just here. It's here. I'll know in my own heart and myself that I started this particular race, if you want to call it that, and I just went at it long enough to complete it. A lot of people, I mean, this has a lot of meaning to what we do here in network marketing, internet marketing, affiliate marketing, because all of us we're all involved with the same company. We're involved with the Empower Network, and it's essentially a network marketing company, but it's also an internet marketing company. It's a software development company. It's a lot of things, and the thing that's really that people sometimes lose sight of is that what we're really getting involved in is something that you've got to win at. It's something that you've got to be number one at, and you don't. You got to think of this as kind of a long journey. It's a long trip, and if you've got yourself the right mentors, the right coaches, like when I'm walking the marathon at a clip of maybe 15 minutes a mile walking, if every once in a while somebody sees us, hey, go man, all right, you got that cheering section that's kind of urging you on, and kind of say, hey, you can do this, just keep at it. This is kind of what goes on here. This is the real world. In network marketing, everybody is always looking at the top leadership, the top winners, the people that are on the leaderboards all the time, making the biggest money. But you know something? The real heroes are the ones that are like down there making, a few $100s a day, or maybe, whatever it is. And it's these people here that when they kind of get together and they kind of support each other, that's really where the strength of it is. And I think I kind of brought this entire kind of thing to light only because in my entire life, I've never been number one at anything. And I can't even say that I've ever been really competitive. I've always been the kind of person that kind of is just looking for some place that I can fit in that works for me. When I was a young guy, I went into the Air Force. I enjoyed that. And it was probably one of my favorite jobs that I ever had. I've only had a few jobs because I kind of learned when I was a young kid that I really didn't want to work for somebody else. So you know, when I finally got out of the Air Force, I went to work for an electronics company, a kind of a famous one. It was the name of the company was ARP. ARP Instruments was the name of the outfit, and a lot of people might remember a movie called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It was a science fiction movie that came out quite some years ago. It's got to be, geez, it's got to be in the late 70s sometime, because that's when I worked for the company. At the end of the movie, there's you know, if you can kind of remember that mountain scene where you've got all these alien spaceships are flying all over the place, and they're all landing. This one huge spacecraft landed, and they were trying to communicate it with this electronic synthesizer. It was sending out these tones. I don't know whether you remember the movie or not, but if you haven't, I'm sure you could look it up. And I worked for the company that created that music synthesizer. And I was an electronics technician. I was actually one of the people that was part of building that actual console. So I actually have a little touch of kind of like a little bit of movie history there. I was actually involved in it, and it was one of my favorite jobs that I really had. But I learned, like I had mentioned earlier, I knew from an early age that I really wasn't really cut out to work for other people. But so at you know, I was somewhere around the age of 25, I started my first business. This was while I was actually, you know, still holding down jobs working for electronics companies. And once again, I wasn't any superstar in any regard. I was just one of these people that I just wanted to do something better for myself and my family. And because at the time I was married and I had a little boy, and I just figured, you know, start something on my own, and just, you know, see where it goes. And once again, I mean, I had a small delivery service in my, you know, in my area, and I had a bunch of people that worked for me. I had a great crew of people. I'll always be grateful to them. I mean, they were the best part of my business. People are always overly concerned about their customers. You know, but I'm gonna flat tell you something. You know, if you don't have a good staff of people that work for you, you know, your customers are going to suffer, and so will your business. So, you know, I always made sure that I remembered, you know, the good people that worked with me. And but once again, this is something that I worked at, and I owned it, and it was a successful operation for nearly 30 years. And when you look at business odds, that you know, 3 out of 4 businesses fail in the first year, and then out of the ones that survive, 3 out of 4 of them fail in the first 5. So you figure you've only got about a 1 in 8 chance of surviving first 5 years. So I survived 30 years in business. And I had some pretty good successes. I mean, I had built my own home out in the beautiful suburbs. I mean, had some good things going on in my life, but I was unfortunately, you know, a lot of people say that they own their business, but in my particular case, my business owned me. I worked 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and I remember going seven years without a day off. 7 years without a day off. Now remember, I'm a family man. I've got, at the time, you know, my wife and I, we had our second child. I mean, they were 10 years apart. That kind of gives you some idea of how much I was home. I wasn't even home long enough to conceive children, if you can kind of understand what I'm saying. I was married to my business, but my business was very good to me, and it was very good to my family. My family lived well. I was able to send my kids to great schools. I mean, whatever, I was, you know, donating monies to charities, and it was really a good life. But on kind of a small level, I wasn't like Bill Gates or anything. I was just, you know, just a regular Joe, just kind of swinging away every day. But I guess part of what you're also hearing here is here's something else about going the distance. We're talking about going the distance here. I started at the age of 25. And, you know, for the next 30 years, I worked essentially 7 days a week, going the distance. There's something to be said about hanging in there for a long period of time with just maybe, you got to have your eye on something that you're after. But, you know, once you've traveled down the road, a piece, things begin to change. And if you're really not focused and not really doing the things that you really want to do, you're going to find that things are going to begin to collapse. And that's kind of what happened to me. Nearly 7 years ago, this really good business that I had owned for such a long time finally crumbled under the weight of my own lack of focus and my lack of desire. I wanted to add one small part of my story here, which is it's very emotional to me, but it'll maybe help you understand why somebody that I had a multi-million-dollar business, and how something like that could possibly collapse unless you were just irresponsible. But back about 12, 13 years ago, my oldest child passed away. He was 26 years old at the time, and it's something that I can't explain really what happened to me. I had gone from being a highly motivated, fired up, ready to go out there and just kick butt every day and work and serve customers and do the things that need to be done. But when my son died, he died in my home, something changed. And I began to think about all the vacations I had never taken with my son. In his whole life, at the age of 26, I had taken him on 2 vacations. Here it is, I'm a man with all of this success, all this money, I've got all this nice houses and cars and stuff, but I didn't have time for my family, okay? I mean, I was out there hammering it away. And something just inside of me began to unravel, and it just literally, it fell apart on me. And I lost my focus, my drive, and finally, after many years after he passed away, finally I shut the doors to my business, and because I had destroyed the thing. And I kind of tell you that because life throws curveballs. It's not easy. It doesn't matter how good you look, or you might look to the people around you. People don't really know what's going on inside. Maybe you got a lot of turmoil in your life. Maybe you think there's really no hope, and there's really no chance to ever come out the other side. But I'm afraid to tell you something, that if you'll hang in there long enough, once again, you got to think long term. If you'll hang in there long enough, eventually you'll come across the people, the resources, the right programs, the mentors. Maybe just you being here is no mistake. You're probably looking for a way to make money online, and you're wondering what these 3 guys here can possibly do. And I guess as I'm going to kind of wrap this thing up a little bit right now, because like I say, I got 1,001 stories, everything from stories of my business and my family and my childhood, and now that I'm older and all these other, I've got all sorts of things going on. But what I really kind of want to keep, just kind of plugging away at people is that if you've fallen here by some, stroke or miracle here, it's no accident. If whoever it is that's going to send you here, maybe you found it by just chance. If you want some help, you want some people to give you a hand and possibly put you in the direction that could help you maybe change the rest of your life, this is really the place. Because between Thomas, Maros, and myself, I mean, we have 3 different life experiences, but we all are here. We're all the same at the core. We all really just want our freedom. We all really just want a better life, with no stress, and just wake up happy, ready to go, and wonder, well, what's the world? What am I going to run up against today? What's going to be? What exciting thing is going to happen for me today? And when you're really connected with the right people and the right opportunity, the Empower Network, by the way, not to here to push Empower Network, but Empower is a powerful, incredibly fast-growing company with the leadership that's pretty rare in the network marketing industry. I kind of know because way back, that'll be a story for another time. I've been involved in network marketing since February of 1979. So this makes 35 years. Once again, I tell you, there's something to be said about sticking around for the long run. This is a marathon for you. Maros actually runs marathons. Thomas is a physical fitness. He's into fitness and eating healthy and all that stuff. He runs his own type of marathon. I mean, I've seen video of him when he's got sweat pouring off him. He looks like a prize fighter. You know what I mean? He's working out so damn hard. You know what I mean? Me, I don't bust that much of a sweat, but I walk an hour and a half every single day. Every single day. Every single day. I'm not breaking any records. I'm not going to be no medals around my neck. I'm doing it for myself. I know this is what I need. Being connected with Thomas and Maros and other leaders that are really there to help you with Empower. I'm connected with some of them too. My sponsor in Empower is a 7-figure earner with Empower, and this guy will help me do anything I need. I mean, if you joined me, for example, he'd be happy to help you as well. That's just kind of the point that I'm trying to tell you. And I know Thomas and Maros. I mean, Maros is connected with the #1 earner in the company, and even Thomas's group. They're 6- and 7-figure earners all over the place. So you found the right group of people to kind of connect with. And I've been on here for about 20-25 minutes. Like I say, I've got many stories, folks, and maybe over time, I'll bring up different things because there's, everything really kind of leads up to where you are today. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today. I mean, and I'm not the millionaire that I was once, but I'm back in the saddle, as it were. Back, if you're using an old cowboy term, and I'm heading in the right direction. And it's only a matter of time. It's even over the course of the 30 years, my business actually collapsed twice previous to the time that I finally shut the doors on it. But you learn from your mistakes, you jump back on, and you go. And each time I did it, my business grew bigger and bigger and stronger. And this is going to be no exception. Once essentially you know how to make money, it'll just keep coming. Even if you lose some, you'll jump back in the saddle real quick and become successful. So I'm going to turn it back to Thomas, and if you guys have maybe Thomas or Maros, if you get a specific question, I'll be happy to answer it. But I mean, I kind of left it general, just kind of talking about general kinds of things. But I'm just kind of interested to see what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, John. It was interesting to hear a little of your story there, and I know that what touches me a lot is of course your experience with your son died, and that's a tough one, and I'm happy you shared it with us, because I know that must have been a really hard time in your life, and taught you a lot of stuff, and it was just great you shared with us, and also I think it was great that you talk about this on the long run, to kind of get your head down and just keep working and keep believing in what you're doing and what you want to do in your life, and really doesn't matter if you want to run a marathon or you run a business, it's not something that's just going to happen overnight. So I think that's a great point you got there, John. And I don't know about you, Maros. Now John been talking a lot about marathon. You have something you want to ask or add into it?
Can't hear you, Maros.
I think Maros, you got a problem with your
audio.
With your audio or your microphone. I think maybe it's the jack stick. It's a little noise on the line.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great story. I mean, I just got disconnected, so I will watch it again Yeah, I like the story John was telling about his long run. It's also business wise, exactly, and also it's there is some kind of music going on. Is it on my side?
I think it's on your side. I don't hear music.
It's funny because okay. So I try to talk loud and then I just try to put it still. I don't know where it's coming from. Anyway, it's a long story, and you know, any business you're going, any venture you're starting, anything you want to do in your life, uh, you know, it takes some time. It takes a long time, and sometimes it takes a short time, but sometimes it takes a long time. So it depends what kind of you know, sorry guys, I have to kind of find out what's going on because it's getting louder the music, so it's quite
Okay.
funny. I don't
No
know where
problem.
it's coming
No
from.
problem. We'll still
But
be on.
yeah, yeah. I guess it's on my iPad somewhere, so I just try to find out what's going on. I don't know. Yeah, so I just ask you a question, John, and then I just jump off, and then I jump on just to find out what's going on. So the question is, so do you believe it's about the long run? Because in Empower Network there are many people, many guys who got very successful in a very short time. So why do you think it's that? Why do you think for some people it takes long time, and for some people it takes short time? Like you know, because your idea is that it's about long time, it's about long run, it's a marathon, and I love the idea. But do you believe? You know, you can go a short time as well because many people actually, you know, join Empower Network because we are promised to be rich fast. Actually, that's what our leader is talking also. That you know that's the fastest way actually at the moment. You can join Empower Network and be 6-7 figure earner in a very short time, but not many people reach it in a very short time. So it's and that's what's get many people, you know, kind of sad, and they get discouraged. And what we are trying here to do, we are here for long run, and we try to support the people in the long run. So you know, I'm just considering, what kind of thing you would advise to these people, because there are a lot of them who, you know, who don't want to wait like 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, and you know they want to make it as fast as possible, and you know that's kind of what I want to reflect on maybe here, and maybe I'm interested in your ideas because you've been running business for 30 years, so you know the long run, but you know the question is, you know, how long, you know, and you know if it's good, if it's bad, and what's the advantage, and you know pluses and minuses, kind of that kind of stuff. I don't know. The music stopped, so it's great.
All right, well, that's good. I guess if I'm going to answer that question, when it comes to empower and enticing people, you know, to get involved and they're going to have success in a short period of time, most people, I mean, not all people, but most people have an immediate mentality. They want it now, they want it tomorrow, maybe the day after. But if it's going to take more than just a few days, then they're going to be looking for something that is going to promise quicker results. And it's unfortunately, it's as we all know that have really done anything with any level of success. You start off with the idea that you really don't know what's going to happen. When I started my first business, I really didn't know how long it would take before I would make a profit. I didn't know whether I'd ever make a profit, because I mean, I knew what the odds were. I talked to a lot of experts and stuff, and they told me, hey, you got a tough climb ahead of you. You know what I mean? But if you hang in there, even when it gets tough, eventually you're gonna get to the summit. I mean, wherever that summit happens to be for you. And but a lot of people, when they enter, especially network marketing, Empower, or wherever it happens to be. Everyone wants to do things quickly, and what ends up happening is the people that really have success. This is just from my own knowledge about the industry, because I've been around it for quite some time. The people that have success quickly are people that are successful before they entered this particular industry. And it doesn't have to be totally financially successful or whatnot. It's like, I find that, you know, people that have made good, solid friendships, have been, good employees, good workers, good family members. These are the kinds of people that kind of have cultivated a community of friendships and contacts over a period of time, where now, when they enter an industry like this, you've got, this particular person who has cultivated such a great, a respectful following. They'll go to them and say, hey, listen, I've got a business idea I would like to run by you. I think it would be great for the both of us, and something we could really work together on. And of course, because there is this respect, there is this, admiration. I mean, hey, this guy's got an idea, I want to know what he's doing. Then people sit down. They give you, they open their mind there, and at least they sit down for the presentation. And you find these are the people who are the ones that have that early success. They, they'll talk to 10 people and 4 or 5 will join them, versus somebody who maybe wasn't that helpful as a friend, maybe wasn't that good of a brother or sister, or somebody who was pretty cheap at times. You know what I'm talking about. Now he's approaching people, and these people are saying, well, what is it that you want from me? I mean, you know what I mean? So you might sit down with them, but 90%, 95% are going to say no. They really don't want to be a part of what you're doing, because deep down inside, perhaps there's just no connection. I mean, they know you're all about yourself, so I mean, why would they even care about something like that? That's where I find that the quick success really happens. Like, even in Empower, the people that are at the top levels in the company, they're amazing, because they've already done some amazing things before. They might have been in the industry or in internet marketing something for years, learning. They're in the trenches. They're practicing. They're connecting with people all the time, making friendships, doing all, you know what I'm saying? And after years of really not too much to show for it, now all of a sudden they get involved in this, and they've cultivated this respectful following. They let people know what they're doing. These people are open to it because they know this person's a good person, hard worker, focused, got a lot on the ball, and they join. They come in and they do it. It's like, we could talk about, probably the top earner in the company. I don't want to necessarily talk about top earners, but this particular fellow's been in the industry 8 or 9 years, and he's cultivated a very loyal following, because he's taught people, he's given people a lot of value over the years, and he's been there. I mean, he's held people's hand when he needed to. So now, when he was putting together his team to start with this company, he was like an overnight success. I mean, like $700,000 in like a month. I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, but those are the kinds of success stories. And you know what? Sometimes, I mean, even sometimes I look at it myself. I'm to blame too. I mean, I'll look at it and say, geez, I wish I could do something like that. Or, these guys are just far too sharp, too fast, too smart, whatever. And it's really not it. What really is lacking is that the people that are really the top marathoners, the top business people, the top teachers and professors, the top are in their heart. They know what they know. They communicate their self with their students, with their clients, with everybody that they touch. And it's this type of communication. They're convinced. They have confidence. When if you're looking to join forces with someone, you're probably going to want to find somebody who kind of knows what they're doing. I mean, that's why everyone's kind of looking to join with top earners and that kind of stuff. But there are a lot of people that haven't reached that level yet that are on their way, and they're really awesome people. And we're all coming across them here anyway. So that's kind of what I wanted to say about that. I just hope that kind of answers your question. It's kind of a little lengthy, but maybe it gives you some idea, or at least I think about it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I love your explanation of it. I mean, it's a phenomena to me as well. I'm learning every day, and when I talk to you guys and listen to John's story today, I also realize what it takes to be top earner. And as John was explaining this, I was just remembering something I learned weeks, months, days before when I was listening to Inner Circle audios. That I was just always like thinking, what the hell does it make to be, or does it take to be top earner? What the hell does it take to be that good? And because some of these people, they talk about like 3 hours work a day, or maybe sometimes even less. So we think, I mean, what the heck? You can work like 8 hours a day on your business and you will never make that much money. So what's going on here? So and then, but there is so much behind the scenes. So much behind the curtain. These guys, they were developing their skills for years. Some of them have been homeless for years. And I think there are a couple of crucial concepts, and we will talk about this concept in the future hangouts as well. What it takes to be very successful, and one of many of them is that you really have to focus on what you're doing, and you have to make the commitment to stay in the game, like John was saying, and just learn as much as you can. So I believe that one of the core commitments as well, that you have to keep pushing and keep challenging yourself and learn new stuff every day. Because I was just thinking, as John was explaining this, that like I'm doing triathlon now, and it's like 3 kinds of sports. But anybody who is doing just one of these will still beat me, because he will train 6 hours a day just swimming, but I will train 6 hours a day 3 different kinds of sports. So any time a day, this guy would beat me. So if there are people out there who are like, they having like normal jobs and they learn 2 hours a day, they need a long time until they reach certain level. So, and they have to know this. Or you are a different kind of guy. You might be like Vic Strizos, who took a credit $30,000 and he decided, I'm going to do it, period. And I'm going to learn every day, and I work on it like 10 hours, 12 hours a day, and I'm not going to do anything else. And of course you get results much, much faster, because you are that committed. You concentrate and you focus just on this one business, and it shows. I don't know, guys, what do you think about that?
I agree.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, and what really what I start to realize more and more is definitely this doing business online, or having your own like you, John, a traditional offline business, it really has a lot to do with mindset. It's really not that much the product or the customers or the skills and all that. But I really think that if we think about people who are in the business for a long time before they succeed or do it really fast, I think it's something special about their mindset. They think or they feel in a certain way, or they have been doing this for so long and they're so fed up and they're so frustrated and angry about that they can't succeed, and finally they just say, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna let down the handbrake and just go, and don't think about what's gonna happen or what could happen, or if this is not gonna work out, then what, and all this stuff. Just had enough and just have the back against the wall and just say, I'm just gonna go and do it. and we see a lot of these stories about people who really been out in deep water, and finally they start succeeding. So I think you can push yourself to a situation where you just have to succeed, and not all of us have to go out there and do that. But I still think in a traditional business like you had, John, you still at some point in the beginning probably had your back against the wall and thought, Jesus Christ, if something is not going to happen in the next couple of months, you're out, or the bank is going to close you, or whatever, you know. I think most people who start a business will have this experience, and I still think sometimes we need to learn from this, and we need to really be grateful for this experience, because it teaches us a lot about doing the wrong run. Like next time we face this, that now it's a tough time, we know that, well, we have done this before, we have had the back against the wall, and we have pushed through it, and we have found a solution. And I think that has a lot to do with mindset, because it really, I think a lot of time running your own business really require a really special mindset, because you face some challenging, but also you face some victories. You see some really rewards of having your own business, you know. So, but I still think that the mindset is really important, and
you know something. I want to just add something before you kind of close it off.
Yeah.
There's when I think back to the days when I first started my business, like I told you, I had 2 businesses collapse. The first business actually lasted me 5 years. It collapsed, but I rebuilt it. It took me a few months. I got it back up, and I was actually already doing better after about 6 months in my second business than I had done in the previous 5 years in my my first run, as it were. But you're right about mindset and that kind of stuff. But here's really, there's something that I think people sometimes don't understand about mindset. It's not something mystical or magical. It's not something that you have to sit in a dark room, burn incense, and see whether you can connect with the universe. What it really is, especially when you're trying to run a conventional business, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do that for my online business now. But for my conventional business, it all broke down into a daily routine. In order to run any kind of a business, no matter what it is, even if you're an athlete training for sports or whatever it is that you happen to be, you're a student, it doesn't matter. You have a daily routine that you need to adhere to, and it has to be a productive routine. It can't be, you know, there were a lot of things in my business I could have done, well, you know, maybe I'll do this later, or things that don't happen. I mean, in order for me to run a $1 million business, I had to be on top of about a dozen different things every single day. And that was my day. And as I grew more successful, where I had more revenue in the bank, I would hire people to come in and help me manage some of those tasks so that I could focus more on the bigger picture of growing the business to the next level. That's really where it takes. And it's like, no matter what it is that you do, even online. See, right now, I've always been a kind of a loner. I enjoyed running because even though I was part of a team, I ran for me. I wasn't going to win any races. I ran because I enjoyed running, and the only thing I was trying to beat was maybe my fastest time that I had ever run. I didn't care about the damn world record. I don't give a rip about that. You know what I mean? I just wanted to kind of do the best I could do, you know, and I've always been that way, even with business. I mean, if I got a call from somebody who wanted to contract my business, you know, like to do some service for them, I ran medical delivery, bank delivery, we did package, I did newspaper, magazine distribution throughout the entire city of Boston. I had a pretty big team of people. If somebody wanted me to do something else, all I would do is I would look at my schedule and see if there's some place I can fit this person in. It wasn't about the money. Many times, I mean, I charged some clients a lot of money to do what we did. And I had some clients that paid very, very little because that's all they could afford. So what I would do is I made a lot of connections with people like this over the years. I mean, I did like almost favors for them. But they always remembered if they ever needed something, they'd come on me. You know what I mean? But the point is that you focus on you have to know what you need to do every day. What a lot of us, especially online, and I'm to blame myself. I'm looking at me here, and I'm to blame. I don't really know what I should be doing every day. Even though I've gone through some trainings and I've listened to a lot of great speakers and I've listened to inner circle audios and a lot of things, I still don't have a plan set in stone. Now you can adjust it a little bit here and there. You can always, you know, if the schedule a little different, doctor's appointment or something, you can always change things around. But the people that are effective working 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day are people who focus on doing work 2, 3 or 4 hours a day. They might leave an 8-hour block of time. See, my business was a little unique. We ran 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I did medical delivery in the middle of the night. I had a staff that did this. Okay, but if we were short-handed, I'd get a call, I'd be in my vehicle, I'd be down at the Red Cross bringing blood up to a hospital. That's what I did. Okay, it was my company, my business. So, but the point is, when you set yourself an 8-hour block of time and then put in 2 hours that I've got to do this, and you've got all 8 hours to do it in, but this 2 hours worth of work has to be sometime done in that 8 hours. That's how I ran my business. That's why eventually, when it really took off, it was because of that focus. And that's why, I mean, the mindset is there, but that's really the mindset. The mindset that you really need to get is that you can do this. What you got to figure out is what skills do I need, and then what do I really need to do today, and then do it today, do it tomorrow. And I mean, just like I ran my business 7 days a week, run yours 7 days a week. Give it an hour or two every single day, and you're going to find success. You know why? 98% don't do it. That's why it's easy to be a top earner. Only 1%. I mean, maybe 1% of the 2% that actually do it, only 1% of them are the ones that do it every day. No excuse, no baloney. That's what they do every day. Those are the guys on the leaderboards. You know, that's all it is. It's just commitment. Just like Mauro said, commitment, dedication. You want to win a marathon? You better run 13 miles a day. I mean, if you're not running 13 miles a day, you're kidding yourself. I used to run 10, and I only ran 2 miles. You know, when I was a kid, I ran 10 miles a day, every day, every day, every day, every day, 7 days a week. And I did it for 4 years in high school. You know, when I got into college, I was like, whoa, I'm really out of my league here. I saw those guys run. I said, forget it. I'm going to see if I can, carry their towel or something. Because, I mean, these guys were like amazing. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll just get back to it. But that's really the mindset. You're right. It's mindset. And you focus on the daily action. If you do that, success is within reach. You know why? It works in brick and mortar. I'm proof. I'm proof of it. I built a beautiful home on just working focused, 7 days a week, period.
Yeah, great, John, and I really enjoyed that, and I think, kind of you hit my bad. It's definitely one of the things I'm struggling with is to get that schedule for the everyday activities that will produce you some income. But we're learning all the time, and I think we learned a lot from you today, John, with your story and what we've been talking about here. And we were supposed to go on for like half an hour, and we are way over that. So I think we should finish off for today. And thank you very much, John, for sharing your story, and also thank you for you, Maurice, for being on here today. And for you guys out there watching, I hope you get some value from this. If you have any questions, you can reach out and ask John, if you want to know more about his story, or you have any other questions, contact us, and we'll be very happy to help you out, and just hope you find it interesting and had some valuable information today, and we're definitely going to be back soon, maybe later this week, or at least Monday next week we're going to be back, and I guess it's going to be my time to tell a little about my story, and then after that we're gonna have another subject coming up, so we're not here just to pop up and do a few hangouts, we are here for the marathon and keep making these hangouts. We have a lot of fun with it, and we learn a lot from each other, and we learn a lot, and hopefully some of you guys out there enjoy it, what we're doing here, and probably in a couple of years you will see us still being here talking on a hangout or whatever is available of technology at that time, but
no, we'll be in Hawaii when we do it. We'll be in Hawaii, all drinking umbrella drinks with pineapple and
and having our laptop with our webcam on, but I believe what we're doing here with the Hangouts is also a marathon. This is something we need to be doing all the time to get better and to learn and to just have a great time, So, definitely I had a great time today, guys. And again, thank you, John, for sharing your story today. And have fun, guys, and have a great week. And we'll be back soon. And bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thomas.
Maurice. Thank you. Thank you, Thomas.